Hello, everyone. A Constitutionalist Politics podcast, video exclusive special. See, I don't have my standard Constitutionalist Politics podcast background up, although, hold on just a second. Doing this on the fly here, background and effects. Let's toss that up for a second. There it is. There's the usual background, right? But now I'm going to go back and switch to my federal tyranny background, states and God being erased. That is a mural. I have the Gadsden snake, don't tread on me, on my actual garage door. This is my neighbor's garage, another patriot allowed me to then have this mural contracted onto her garage. And yeah, the flag there doesn't have stars in the blue field on purpose. States' rights erased, federal tyranny. The G in God whitewashed out, God being erased from society. But at any rate, I put that there to talk about on Newsmax. I've got it paused right there on my screen, actually over there, recording in the living room as I usually do, the green screen over the ugly couch, if you've seen that from other episodes. But at any rate, yeah, Newsmax, I got it paused. Arizona grandmother mistaken for Oklahoma fugitive. I'm not sure if you heard about it. I'm not going to mention her name. Apparently, U.S. Marshals rolled up on her grandmother's 60s or in her 80s. I don't remember that fact. Unimportant, that fact. But mistakes are going to happen. Let me first put on that hat, okay? Everything isn't always going to go perfect. Now, the U.S. Marshal's Office apparently has released a statement admitting wrongdoing. Well, I think that's a little far, but maybe not, because I don't know all the intricate details. But my point here today is they absolutely should have admitted to a mistake. They mistook her for an Oklahoma fugitive. But again, fugitives can get fake IDs, establish a new life under an alias. So that can happen. Let's be realistic. They made a mistake. Now, other things they may have gone too far on, I'm not talking about that. I do want to say they owe her an apology, and indeed admit to a mistake, and she should be compensated somehow, some way for the mistake. But I don't think there was any willful or malice aforethought attempt to badger and bully her and target her and make up that she was an Oklahoma fugitive so they could arrest and harass her for 24 or 48 hours, whatever it was, before releasing her. Compare that to Roger Stone. Clearly not mistaken or mistakable for some other fugitive, but pre-dawn raid on his home, if you remember that, complete with CNN television there to film it all and yank him and his wife from their home in their evening wear garments. Roger Stone was a political persecution. It is in no way, shape, or form able to be argued. Roger Stone, armed and dangerous fugitive, to engage what they did when they took him away in shackles, to charge him with political crimes. So there's that. Roger Stone, known in the community, out and about in the community, they could have very easily and low-key fashion arrested him while he was out and about. There was no need except for federal tyrannical, commie, fascist, sociocrats wanting to send a message to people who dare bother to take on the government and think we should be a limited constitutional republic ever again. And thank God the mandate election, Trump won, GOP control of the House, GOP control of the Senate. Of course, the deep state and the left will continue to resist any change, not really change, any roar, as I put it, ROAR. You know what? I'm going to go into my video settings again here. Oh, I don't have that in here. So, question is, can I grab it quickly? Pardon me, I'm stalling. Clicking add image. Go to the right folder. And R-O-A, Roger, and no, that's not what I want. I'm in the wrong directory. R-O-A, Roar Merchandise, from over at Savage, there it is, SavageArmy.com, Savage Unfiltered. I am Jokester Joe over there normally, but yes, very serious. I coined Roar. Restore our American Republic. Any of us dare try to restore our American Republic and all our freedoms as it was founded, deemed domestic terrorists and enemy of the state now. Roger Stone dared to be part of that movement, the Roar movement, the MAGA movement, but of course this has to live on beyond Trump. The Roar movement, as I'm trying to coin it and have it go forth going forward. And indeed, please check out change.org/WeThePeopleDemandList or beforeitsnews.com. Search for We the People Demand List, an article. The petition has 20 items. The article's up to 49 items about what we the people demand, a new contract for America to restore our American Republic. But I've gotten off the beaten path here now. Roger Stone, that was all a show, all a charade, all for the left and the deep state sending a message. This is a tyranny now, not a republic, and we will do what we want to you. Hopefully, after this last election, we can get some things in place and drain the swamp for real this time. But I also wanted to talk about David Koresh. If that name doesn't ring a bell to you, Waco, Texas. If that doesn't ring a bell, why it should, Bill Clinton, Janet Reno, armed raid on the Koresh cult compound. Again, another show unnecessary. David Koresh nor Roger Stone were held up in a bunker 24/7. David Koresh was known to be out and about in the Waco community. In fact, I think it was stated there was a record shop he would frequent almost every Sunday. They could have very easily brought him into custody for charges then out in the open. But no, instead, they literally rolled up tanks onto the compound, created a standoff, and in that fire caused by our government, children died very unnecessarily. So I'm going to wrap it up. I've already gone way longer. You've heard me say that before. I start going and rabbit holes open up and I jump down them. This woman absolutely owed an apology, absolutely owed something to fix or make whole, to deal with the mistake that was made. Mistakes are going to happen. A mistake is one thing, and I'm willing to speak out and say, right, I'm not going to be so anti-government every time, every minute of the day and the night. We're all human, we're all frail. Mistakes can happen, and we have to acknowledge the difference between something that can be an honest mistake. And indeed, I don't know what the Oklahoma fugitive was wanted for and be perceived as armed and dangerous. So precautions with her made sense. Did they go too far in some respects? I'll take other people's word for it that they did. But there is a difference and a distinction, and let us be intellectually honest about these things, and a difference between what may be a mistake as opposed to willful, purposeful, malice of forethought, instinctive, overstep, and overreach, and like the Waco, Texas raid was, like the Ruby Ridge raid was, if you don't remember the Weavers. The Bundy Ranch could have turned into a Waco or a Ruby Ridge if other American patriots, when the Bureau of Land Management tried to seize their property without full and proper due process, but a bunch of American patriots all showed up and basically said, all right, if you're going to gun them down, you're going to have to gun us all down, and you're going to have to do so while we're live streaming it to the internet now. So thank God, in some respects, for the internet, we have that bit of extra protections, and a tragedy was averted there. So indeed, at any rate, thank you all for tuning into this. You cannot rest. All right, I'll edit in a couple more images, including that thelibertybeacon.com article. No, you, me, all of us. It says we the people in our founding documents for a reason. We do not get to rest. We do not get to say voted, right? I say this in another show. So you voted. So bleeping what? What are you going to do in the next 2 hours, 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, or for the next 2 decades? You don't get to just vote and say, okay, now go do that on our behalf. We've seen that. We elect them, they go to D.C., they don't do what they said they would do. We, the people, must keep the pressure on if we are to roar. Restore our American Republic. No, you cannot rest. You do not get to go back to sleep. Sign the We the People Demand List petition. Again, there are many more items listed in the beforeitsnews.com piece on We the People Demand List. So many things over so many decades, my entire lifetime of the government becoming more and more and more dictatorial, top-down, fascist federalists, as I call them now, nowhere close to the federalists of before, wanting indeed more federal power, and the anti-federalists compromise that yielded our Constitution, that we are supposed to have a loose, weak federal government with certain enumerated powers to do things, long overreached since then. Okay, other rabbit holes. Obviously, tune into Constitutionalist Politics Podcast every Wednesday, normally, sometimes twice a week, Tuesday and Thursday. I'll have on a guest. But Saturday, monologue shows, I go into all this stuff like, no, you cannot rest. Let me look at my upcoming CTP shows and correlating TheLibertyBeacon.com pieces. For coming Saturday, November 30th, I have slated government regulations in automobiles, about regulations in general, but mainly that, right? December 7th, fight, flight, other option. Looking forward here, December 14th, no, you cannot rush part 2. December 21st, We the People Demand List Part 1 for the show, even though, again, it's out on beforeitsnews.com and petition@change.org. December 28th, no, not a Christmas special. We the People Demand List Part 2. All kinds of things. No, you cannot rest. You got to be active. You got to be involved. I'm not saying an occasional distraction. Watching an occasional football game is not a problem. We need mental breaks now and again. But 24/7 consuming bread and circus is a problem. You cannot let people go back to sleep to the bread and circus, or we will never get anything done still. Thank you all. Take care. God bless.